I didn't sleep at all. My brain kept jolting awake every few minutes like someone was kicking the inside of my skull. By morning I felt half dead, half wired, and completely disconnected from everything. The second I opened my bedroom door, I knew something was off. The corridor felt wrong, heavy, tense, like the air itself was holding its breath. Patients were scattered everywhere. One lad rocked on the floor with his hands over his ears. A woman stared at the wall, whispering. Nurses were whispering too fast, panicked, then snapped silent the second they saw me watching. Before I even reached the end of the corridor, a violent bang echoed from deeper inside the ward. The whole building seemed to jump. Another bang, harder. Someone was throwing their entire body into a metal door. And I instantly knew who. Tommy, the smallest bloke here, but mentally the most explosive. His mind was a mix of paranoia, rage, fear, and confusion, all firing at once. And he trusted me for some reason, which made me move toward the noise faster, ignoring nurses telling me to step back. When I reached the double doors, the whole frame shook with another impact. He's barricaded himself in, a nurse said, breathless. Bed, chair, cabinet, anything he could move. I put my hand on the cold metal of his door. His voice was ripping through the small window, broken, furious. Get away from me. I know what you're trying to do. Tommy, I shouted. Everything went quiet. Danny? He said, voice trembling. You with him? No, mate. Just me. They're trying to take me somewhere, he snapped. Sedate me. Get rid of me. No one's taking you anywhere. Just talk to me. I can't trust them. He screamed. Another slam hit the door, shaking dust from the frame. If you keep this up, I warned, they're going to call more people. Good. Let them come. His voice was wild, unhinged, ready for war. Heavy footsteps approached behind me. One of the head doctors stormed in. Danny, step away, she barked. Police are already on their way. The words hit me like a punch. Police? For him? Move, she grabbed my arm. Tommy heard everything, and he snapped. Danny, don't you fucking leave me with them. His scream tore straight through my chest, but the doctor dragged me away. The double doors slammed shut between us. Everyone outside. Nurses yelled. Now, move. Patients were rushed down the corridor like animals being evacuated. No explanations. No answers. Just pure panic. We were shoved into the freezing morning air of the courtyard, high fences, cracked concrete, nowhere to go. And then I heard it. Engines, radios, heavy boots. I looked through the fence, slats, riot police. Full gear, helmets, shields, batons, marching straight into the hospital. For Tommy, for the room I'd just been standing outside of. My stomach dropped. The air around us felt electric. Inside the building, distant screaming began again, louder this time. More voices, more chaos. Something was about to explode. After they dragged Tommy into the padded cell and slammed
Everything
the door, inside the ward shifted. It wasn't fear anymore, it was shock, pure shock, like everyone realized this place could turn violent in a second. When they finally let us back inside, the corridor looked destroyed. A chair overturned, paperwork everywhere, alarm still blinking red, and a dark patch on the floor where they'd carried him. No one cleaned it yet. They just stepped around it like it wasn't even there. They marched all of us straight into the lounge. No talking, no wandering, no questions. The nurses looked more shaken than we did. One of them kept rubbing her hands together like she couldn't stop shaking. Another was crying in the corner quietly, pretending she had something in her eye. We sat in the lounge like zombies. No TV on, no music. Just silence and people staring into nothing. One lad whispered, "He's going to wake up," over and over, like he was stuck on repeat. A doctor came in and pretended everything was under control but his. Eyes were darting everywhere. They made us line up for a head count like prisoners. They even checked our pockets and sleeves in case anyone had something sharp. I asked what was happening with Tommy. A nurse said, "He's sedated. He's not waking up any time soon." but she wouldn't look me in the eye. 5 minutes later, another alarm went off. Short, sharp, fast. Emergency restraint. Everyone froze. It wasn't Tommy this time, it was a woman called Sarah. She was screaming, clawing at her arms, saying something was crawling under her skin. When staff tried calming her, she swung and hit a nurse hard in the face. Then the whole team tackled her to the floor. It was chaos all over again, screaming, shouting, bodies scrambling. They injected her right there in the hallway and dragged her to ward, another isolation room. Some patients started crying. Others backed into corners. One guy paced so fast he looked like he was going to burst out of his own skin. You'd think the ward would calm down after that, but it didn't. It got worse. They wheeled Tommy past the lounge toward medical, strapped down so tightly he couldn't move an inch. His face was still covered in dried blood, eyes shut, chest rising fast, like his body was still fighting, even unconscious. Everyone stared at him. No one breathed. He looked like something ripped straight out of a nightmare. As soon as they took him around the corner, the silence hit again. Heavy, suffocating. No one talked. No one laughed. Even the usual arguments stopped. It felt like the whole building was waiting for the next explosion. And that's when it hit me properly. This wasn't a place to get better. This was a place where anything could happen at any second. No warning. No reason. Just chaos waiting behind every door. And the worst part? We weren't even halfway through the day. When they finally dragged Tommy into the padded cell and locked the door, the whole ward fell into this strange, stunned silence. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. It felt like the whole building was trying to recover from the chaos. When they let us back inside, everything looked wrong. Papers everywhere, chairs knocked over, alarms still flashing red. A dark smear on the floor nobody had cleaned yet. We all stepped around it like it wasn't even there. They shoved us back into the lounge and told us to stay put. That alone told me things were still bad. Staff pacing around, whispering, checking doors twice. Everyone else sat in silence, eyes empty. No TV, no music. Just the buzzing lights and the sound of people breathing too fast. Eventually I got up and walked into the corridor, even though my legs felt shaky. A support worker told me to stay in the lounge, but I think she could see from my face I needed space. The corridor was cold and smelled like disinfectant. A cleaner rushed past with a mop bucket, head down, not saying a word. I knew exactly what she was cleaning. I walked a little further and saw the isolation corridor door left open a crack, just enough for bright white light to spill out. I couldn't see inside, and I didn't want to. The silence from that room scared me more than the screaming earlier. I backed away and returned to the lounge. Someone whispered, "Is he dead?" But no one answered. A doctor came in trying to act calm. "The situation is under control," he said. "There is no danger to anyone now." Nobody believed him. People asked questions. What happened? If Tommy was alive? If anyone else was hurt? But the doctor dodged everything with lines like, "I can't discuss that and focus on your own recovery." Then they wheeled Tommy past the lounge on the way to medical. Still strapped down, still unconscious. Blood dried on his face, chest rising fast, like his body was still fighting even in sleep. Everyone stared. Nobody looked away. When he was gone, the silence hit again, heavier this time. Lunch came, but nobody ate. The food just sat there, getting cold. A nurse came over to me and said, "You did your best. He listens to you. You helped more than you know." I didn't feel like I helped. I just felt tired, drained, like the whole day had punched something out of me. By the time evening came, the ward was quiet, not peaceful, just worn out. People lying silently in their rooms, nurses whispering, doors creaking softly. And all I could think was, if this was day 3, what the hell was day 4 going to look like?